Hello students, today we want to look at Venn diagram that involve three sets. Now let's consider this question. In a survey of students, it was discovered that 76 like history, 98 like geography, and 87 like mathematics. 15 like all the three subjects. 39 like history and geography. 37 like history and mathematics. 48 like geography and mathematics. And 45 like none of the subjects. 1. A. Show this information on a Venn diagram. B. How many students took part in the survey? So now let's try to write out the information. In a survey of students, it was discovered that 76 like history. So the number of students that like history, we have 76. 98 like geography. Number of students liking geography, I'm using G for geography, we have 98. And 87 like mathematics. Number of students that like mathematics, we are having 87. I'm using M to represent mathematics. Now 15 like all the three subjects. So that means that those that like history and geography and mathematics, so that will be represented by history intersection geography intersection mathematics. We are having 15 students liking all the three subjects. Now 39 like history and geography. Now we having those that like history and geography, we have 39. Now first of all, let's try to draw a Venn diagram showing those that like history. We have H represent those that like history, G representing those that like geography, and M representing those that like mathematics. We were told in the question that 15 students like all the three subjects. So 15 is going to be where all the three circles intersect. So this is the first circle of history, second circle for geography, and the third circle for mathematics. So you realize that all these three subjects intersect at this center here. So this is where they intersect. That means 15 students like all the three subjects. 15 students is going to be here. Now, those that like history and geography. This is history. This circle is for history, and this circle is for geography. So those that like history and geography, they have 39. So those that are in this circle, these two circles that intersect, are history and geography. But out of these people that like history and geography, we are having the 15 students that like the three subjects, also part of those that like history and geography. So to now know those that like history and geography only, history and geography only will be those in this just these two subjects here. So those that like history and geography only will be here, this place. Those that like the two subjects are 39. Everything here is those that like the two subjects. But those that like only history and geography, only history and geography will be. So that means you will not involve these 15 to be those that are here. Then how will you represent it? Those that like history and geography only can also be represented by number liking history intersection geography intersection mathematics complement. So we know that those that like history and geography only will 39 minus 15. 39 minus 15, we are having what? 24. So it means 24 students will like only history and and geography only. So those 24 students are going to be represented here. So if you look at it, though everything in this space here will now be 24. Those that like the 2 subjects only and those that like the 3 subjects. That about 24 plus 15 will now give us 39. Those that like history and geography. Now, we were told that 37 like history and mathematics. 37 students like history and mathematics. Now, number that like history intersection mathematics, we have in 37. Let's look at it. History and mathematics. These are those that like history and mathematics. Everything in these 2 circles that intersect. So out of those that like history and mathematics, we having a part of them also liking geography. That means we having 15 of them here. So to now know those that like history and mathematics only, history and mathematics only will be represented in this part. So history and mathematics only will be represented here. Now we can symbolize it as number that like history intersection mathematics, or you say number that like history intersection geography complement intersection mathematics. We are having 37 liking history and mathematics. So those that will like only history and mathematics will now be 37 minus 15 students that like the 3 subjects. So that will give us what? We are having 22 students. 22 students will like only history and mathematics. So the 22 students we are going to be here. 22 students like only history and mathematics. So but 37, 22 plus 15 give us 37 like history and geography. Now let's come back to the question. 48 like geography and mathematics. So number that like geography intersection mathematics, they are 48. If this is geography and mathematics, so those that like geography and mathematics, they are all everything here. So those that like geography and mathematics, everything here. Out of them, 15 students like the 3 subjects. So it means those that like only geography and mathematics will also be what? 48 minus these 15 students to give us those that are here. So those that like only geography and mathematics, they will be 48 minus 15. So 48 minus 15 will give us that will be what? 33. So 33 students like only geography and mathematics. So it means that is going to be here. 33, this space will be those that like only geography and mathematics. Then we have in 45 like none of the subject. So 45 did not like any of the 3 subjects. So that means 45 students will be outside. That you can write that one as number that history union, geography union, mathematics complement. So how many are they? 45. So that one will not be in any of the 3 circles, but will still be inside the box. So they are not involved in these 3 circles. That will outside. 45 students did not like any of the 3 subjects. Now we are done with that information. Now since we know that 76 students like history, we know that 76 students like history, then and 98 students like geography, and 87 students like mathematics. Then how will we get those that like only history, only mathematics, and only geography? So now let's start with history. We have normally in this circle for history to know those that like history only, those that like history only will be in this remaining part of history. This place will be this place, this one. Those that like history only. So to be able to get those that like history only, it means that you say, well, 76 that like history minus those that like only history and geography minus those that like history, geography and mathematics, and minus those that like only history and mathematics. So now let's look at it. So to be able to get those that like only history, that means say number that like history, which is 17, minus the remaining those that like the two subjects, history and mathematics, history, mathematics and geography, and history and mathematics. So that means let's add these three, or that's 24 plus 15 plus 22. So that means you'll be having 24 plus 15 plus 22. So 76 minus 24 plus 15 plus 22, that's 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 2 is what, 11, remainder 1, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2 is 6. So that means you'll be having 76 minus 61. 76 minus 61, 6 minus 1 is 5. 7 minus 6 is what? 1. So it means 15 students will like only history. So that means 15, you now write this space will now be for 15 students that like only history. So you notice that 15 students like history only. 24 students like only history and geography. 15 students like history, geography and mathematics. 22 students like only history and mathematics. So to get those that like all history totally, it will involve those that like history only, those that like history and geography, history, geography and mathematics, and those that like only history and math. So everything in this circle is going to give us 76. Now we are through with those that like history only. Since we know that 98 students like geography, so we want to know those that like only geography. So that means you now say the 98, that 98 minus those that like history and mathematics, those that like the three subjects, and those that like geography and mathematics. Those that like history and geography, those that like the three subjects, those that like only geography and mathematics. So you add this and subtract it from those that like geography as a whole. So let's do that. So 98 minus, we are having 24 plus 15 plus 33. We are looking for those that like only geography. So that will be 98 minus those that like history and mathematics only, those that like the three subjects, and those that like history, geography and mathematics only. So that will give us 98 minus 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 3 is what? 12, remainder 1, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 3 is what? 7. So 98 minus 72, 8 minus 2, we are having 6, 9 minus 7, we are having 2. That means 26 students will like only geography. So those that will like only geography will not be in here. We are having 26 students liking only geography. So to know those that like geography generally, we are having those that like only geography, those that like only geography and history, those that like the 3 subjects and those that like only geography and mathematics. Now, we know that 87 students like mathematics. If 87 students like mathematics, those that will like only mathematics will be 87 minus those that like history and mathematics, the 3 subjects, and only mathematics and geography. So that means we'll be having 87 minus 22 plus 15 plus 33. So that will give us 87 minus 2 plus 5, 7. 7 plus 3 is what? 10. Write 0, remainder 1. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 3 is what? 7. Making 87 minus 17 will give us 17. So it means that 17 students will like only mathematics. So those that will like only mathematics are going to be here. We're having 17 students. So, and we were told that we having 45 students did not like any of the 3 subjects. So from the question, we were told that A, show the information using event diagram. So like this, we've been able to show the information on the Venn diagram. So 15 students like only history. 24 students like history and geography only. 26 students like only geography. 22 students like history and mathematics only. 15 students like history, geography, and mathematics. 33 students like only geography and mathematics. And 17 students like only mathematics. Then we have 45 students did not like any of the 3 subjects. So we've been able to represent it on a Venn diagram. Then B part of the question says, how many students took part in the survey? How many students took part in the survey? To know the total number of students that took part in the survey. So it means that you are going to add the students that like history only, those that like the two history and geography only, those that like geography only, those that like history and mathematics only, those that like history, geography, and mathematics, those that like geography and mathematics only, those that like mathematics only, and those that did not like any of the 3 subjects. So you are going to add everything together. So 15 students like only history. So 15 plus 24 students like history and 24 students like geography only. Sorry, 26 students like geography only. So plus 26 plus those that like only mathematics, we having 17. Then plus those that like history and mathematics only. History and mathematics only, we having 24. Plus those that like history and mathematics only. 24 like history and geography only. Then history and mathematics only. History and mathematics only, we having 22. Those that like geography and mathematics only, we having 33. Plus those that like the 3 subjects, that is we having 15. Plus those that like none of the 3 subjects, that don't like any of, that's 45. So we will need to add everything together. So that is 15 plus 26 plus 17 plus 24 plus 22 plus 33 plus 15 plus 45. So it means 197 like all the three subjects. 197 like all the three subjects. So the total, 197 took part in the survey. The total number of students in the universal set is 197. So how many students took part in the survey? That's the total number of students in the universal set, which is 197. Now, let's look at the work practice. In an examination for the final year students of the school, 60 offered history, 50 economics, and 48 literature. 30 offered history and economics, 16 offered history and literature, 22 offered economics and literature. If 10 candidates offered all the three subjects, find the number that offered history only. 2. The number that offered history economics only. 3. The number that offered literature only. 4. How many candidates sat for the examination, assuming that each candidate sat for at least one subject? Please ensure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Thank you.